Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, and seems like Sony has caught the ire of quite a few PC gamers. I think the timing of all of this going down has really been beneficial to Sony because the gaming world seems to absolutely detest Microsoft right now for the closure of Tango Gameworks and Arcane Austin. But Sony getting quite a lot of flack after the Helldivers 2 saga wrapped up, and I wouldn't say that they garnered goodwill for going back on the Helldivers 2 thing, because I think most of you guys are intelligent enough at this point to realize that if it was up to them, they would absolutely move forward with it, and it was because it was an absolutely insane amount of vitriol that was spewed their way. That's why they went back on it. I would leave that more as a net neutral. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody, does things that is going to annoy other people. But at this point, they did course correct. So hopefully, you just want them to not do nonsense like this once again. Well, in the case of Ghost of Tsushima and myself and many other people, when the whole Helldivers 2 saga was going on, the wheels started turning, being like, well, Helldivers 2 isn't the only PlayStation title on PC, and it's not the only multiplayer game. While people are incredibly excited about Ghost of Tsushima because they want to get into that single-player open world, there is a multiplayer component that is, in fact, in Ghost of Tsushima in the Legends component, and now the question was being asked, what is going to happen when it comes to something like Legends and that requiring a PSN account connection for the PC version of the game? Whatever on the PSN account connection, that is what it is, but the thing is, PSN is not offered in as many regions as Steam is offered. That became abundantly clear when the Helldivers 2 saga went down. I'm gonna be real with you guys, I didn't even know that was the case, that PSN wasn't offered in these various regions that Steam is in. That was news to me because I'm not really up to date on every specific region that PSN and Steam is available in, but it's a significant amount of regions, and now the reality is coming out that I had initially perceived it, well, if Ghost of Tsushima is coming out in these various regions, what's happening is they're essentially paying the same price for a lesser product. That's like the be-all, end-all. That is what is going on. You are not getting the multiplayer component. Sure, the open-world game, the single-player component with the Iki Island expansion because it's the director's cut, for some people that is absolutely worth the $60. For some people over here stateside, that's the only reason you're buying the game, and if that's the case, more power to you. Personally speaking, I played Ghost of Tsushima Legends. I thought it was a fine little experience, but it's not something that would push me to buy the game or not to buy the game if it wasn't available. It was just kind of an accessory component, but for other people, they might want that multiplayer component. It's content in the game. Even if it wasn't content that was released with the game initially, it was a free update. And now that this is coming to the forefront, Steam is now refunding Ghost of Tsushima for people in affected countries, with the message being sent, hello, you are receiving a refund for a game you pre-purchased. Ghost of Tsushima, the publisher of this game, is now requiring a secondary account to play portions of this game. That's not them now requiring it. They very much knew that this was going to be the case. There was a wealth of information that recently came out about Ghost of Tsushima's PC release, and a lot of that was with the PlayStation account tie-in trophies being implemented. That was something that was very much focused on, and there have been games in the past that were single-player that Sony offered the option to account link. Spider-Man, I believe, have that, and I think Forbidden West has that as well. The publisher of this game is now requiring a secondary account to play portions of the game, portions being the Ghost of Tsushima Legends component, and this account cannot be created from your country. Now, if you also go into SteamDB, all of the affected countries, this package cannot be activated or purchased in specific countries. So, they are outright pulling the game, which I find surprising. I would imagine that they could relist the game somehow if they, added the adjustment, hey, you're not getting the multiplayer component, but I don't know the inner workings of how something like that goes down. The thing is, not only is this going to have ramifications on a game like Ghost of Tsushima, where single player is obviously the main component of the game, but the multiplayer is there. I don't know if this is a Steam decision. For me, it does seem like it's a little bit of a PlayStation decision, but I don't know what is the ongoings of it, if this is Steam making this decision, Valve making the decision, or if it's Sony, but this is certainly going to impact them from a sales standpoint and how games perform Because while I'm not going to say that this is going to impact the sales in terms of 50% of the sales are now gone, this is a significant portion of regions that you cannot sell the game to, and now you're not going to be generating revenue. And you're talking about a game that predominantly people wanted to play this game for the single player. Now, people in these regions, they can use VPNs, but most people are not going to go through the trouble of utilizing a VPN. They just want to naturally go on Steam and buy the game. And at this point, honestly, instead of using a VPN, I foresee most people just sailing the high seas to play Ghost of Tsushima on PC in those affected regions. But really, more so than anything, Sony's gonna have to assess whether or not this is an element that they want to keep in play. With Helldivers 2, they obviously went back on it because the game launched with it being fully playable, fully viable in those regions, and I believe in those regions, the game is still delisted and you cannot buy the game. However, in the case of Ghost of Tsushima, it's launching with the idea that PlayStation Network account linking is going to be required. So now that the game has been pulled from these regions, you are directly affecting the sales numbers of this game. But Ghost of Tsushima is not a live service game. Helldivers 2 is a live service game that relies on having a large user base. Even if Helldivers 2 isn't being sold in those regions, it was at one point sold in those regions, and they have a healthy player base. Why are you essentially cutting your legs underneath you before a game even comes out? With games like Concord and Fair Game, you would want those games to be available in as many regions as possible, because remember, with the live service game, you are trying to monetize that service, and for that service to be monetizable as best as possible, you need that game to be available to as many people as possible. Sure, can you make a viable live service game without these regions? Absolutely, but in the case of those specific games, being new IPs, being live service dependent, and coming from new studios, and honestly, who knows how those games are going to turn out? We don't know anything about them, but we do know that Sony is going to be delving more into live service. You're hindering yourself by having this PlayStation Network account linking being a requirement, and I just wonder if they're gonna go back on it in totality, and you're already feeling financial effects of it, given that Steam is giving out refunds. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut is, for a fact, not going to sell as well as it could have on PC, and while PC isn't going to be their predominant revenue generator, it is still a very, very healthy additional revenue stream for Sony, for Steam as well. They're selling these copies of these games, but for Steam, it's a drop in the bucket in terms of their overall business, but it is certainly something to talk about, and hopefully Sony eventually goes back on it. Make PlayStation Network account linking optional. I've already said this. You could do stuff like, oh, you account link and you get a special costume. You get, you get special in-game items, or you get trophy support since people love trophies, so on and so forth. But don't make it mandatory, because that is just going to push people away. And for those of you that are like, you guys don't have the same kind of energy for Ubisoft Connect or Rockstar Launcher. Yes, people do. People do have the same kind of energy. Everybody hates Ubisoft Connect. People don't like going through Battle.net. If you're buying a game on Steam, they don't like the added layer, but I digress. That's going to do it for me. Steam looking to offer refunds on that, which is a little bit of a bummer. Given how big of a release this is and how long people have wanted this on PC, it sucks that it has to add this layer of negativity, and rightfully so. Like, people are well within their right to be negative about this, especially for people in those regions that are affected. Like, bro, like, come on. Like, people are excited for this game. They want to play this game, and now just a little under a week before the release of the game, all of this nonsense comes out. But that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.